Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today, Alyx. I know that DoJ has been going through a lot of changes recently.
Yeah, definitely been going through a lot of changes, but it's definitely good to be able to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah. So, what's the biggest change that the DOJ is making?
Well, the biggest, perhaps most exciting part of the relaunch of the DOJ is the introduction of an internal affairs department. So this department's eventually going to sit under the mayor. However, until one's elected, it's going to be housed within the DA's office. Citizens are going to be encouraged to submit their reports via a form on the DOJ website, and we're going to review them regularly, and it'll be completely confidential as well. We do ask for some identifying information on the form, only in case like we need to follow up with people, but the individuals won't ever be notified like that they've been reported by someone. The names would never be associated, because we want to help our police department to be the best that it can, and sometimes good cops make bad decisions. But our biggest concern is, making sure that we're protecting not only our police officers but our citizens and our business owners, because we want to make sure that everyone has a way to feel like their voice is heard.
That sounds like a great addition. It's definitely been an issue that a lot of people have brought up is not being able to hold the police accountable. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, we've
Uh,
definitely heard the voice of the people and the things that they've been saying. So
yeah. All right. My second question for you is: would it be possible to put it on the docket to reduce the punishment for stealing government vehicles, like maybe attributing a severe fine to attacking officers,
yeah,
or
I saw that
similar to that?
question in the forum. So we're currently working with PD to amend certain charges and clarify information within the penal code regarding certain immediate necessary adjustments. However, a lot of the bulk of this will be done once a mayor's been elected. So we want to make sure that the citizens of the city have their voices heard and are represented in the changes made within our law. But a review of the charges, sentencing, and penal code is definitely at the top of the to-do list. And we're hoping to have the requirements for submitting mayoral candidacy ready by the end of the weekend.
Very nice. And this is something that a lot of people have been saying is that there's never any DOJ around. Can you confirm that they exist? And can you say why there are never any judges?
Yeah, we know the availability of DOJ has been an issue in the past. We've done a significant amount of internal restructuring to help eliminate some of the bottlenecks that were taking place before, and to better equip those who we credential as lawyers. In fact, since the relaunch of the DOJ this week, we've hired several new individuals. I think we brought on 3 new interns at the job fair last night alone. And a new judge has also been appointed, as well as we are introducing the new role of magistrates to our court system, who can preside over like misdemeanor cases and will play a role in part of our new court system as well.
Another question that the citizens have been asking is why business licenses cannot be permitted to existing felons.
Yeah, I read that question as well in the forums, and it's an important question. But business owners are an integral part of our community, and we want to focus on building a positive and strong community. And part of that includes limiting business license to non-felons. However, there is a process for expungement where a felony could be removed from someone's record. So if an existing felon wants to own a business, by all means, there's the means for them to do it.
And can you describe what that expungement process looks like?
Yeah, so we're actually shifting the process a little bit to what's going to be called appeals court, which will take place on Fridays. The first one's going to start next Friday. So after they've had the 30-day period that they've been clean and not committed any crimes or anything or been charged anything, then they can come to appeals court with a lawyer and basically kind of make a statement to the court that they've cleaned up their act, that they're reformed, and that they're a positive member of society, and kind of give it's their chance to prove to a judge and to the court that they truly have turned their lives around.
And is there any cost associated with that?
There is currently a fee associated with it. However, we are working to adjust it to be a little bit more practical, based on charges or different things like that. We have a few ideas we're pushing around, but currently there is a $25,000 fee that was previously instigated.
All right. So the next question is what is DOJ doing to improve the transparency on the expectations for getting and keeping business licenses? It's strange that it's difficult to get one and the expectations vary based on who you ask.
Yeah, I definitely understand that frustration because when I first started at the DOJ, it was a question that I didn't really understand myself. And over the last few, my last little bit of time with the DOJ, I've kind of come to see where the process is. But these types of questions and associated complaints have not fallen on deaf ears. Some of the big things that have affected business license in the past are the bottleneck that was created by the director position, which we've now completely eliminated. So our desire is to streamline the process and simplify it where we can. So we've created a template for proposals. There are more positions now that can approve proposals as well. We're also working on developing and the renewal process and making that a little bit more easy for business owners. So we appreciate everyone's patience with us as we work to articulate a system that best serves our city and allows business owners the ability to kind of realize their dreams and the things that they want to do for the city.
Sounds good. That's definitely gonna let things go a bit quicker.
Yeah, that's the aim with everything is to streamline a lot of the processes and help things flow easier so that there's not any of those bottlenecks and holdups that were happening before.
And speaking of positions with the DOJ, are there requirements for someone to be a judge? And are there plans for potentially having judges being elected officials?
So I'm not aware of anywhere that elects judges. Typically, they're an appointed position within our city. Judges are a pre-selected, kind of trusted member of the community because there's a lot of responsibility that comes with the role of remaining a balanced and fair bias is part of it. So we have introduced a new magistrate position, which can preside over several non-felony proceedings. And as for term limits, it's not something we're currently looking to implement at this time, just because we need to kind of bolster our numbers a bit more. But the goal is to have multiple judges, and eventually we want to get more people involved and to get the right people in the right positions.
So to reiterate, the requirements would be basically a case by case basis of current
Yeah,
DOJ employees.
it's a case by case basis of individuals, yeah, who kind of come up through the DOJ. In certain circumstances, there might be another individual who would get appointed from through other means in rare instances. But individuals within the DOJ, specifically the DA's office, can apply to be judges. And so they'll be reviewed, and there's there's some different ways that they can be looked at and have their judging judged, if you will.
All right. And so could you say what some of the changes that will affect? Sorry, let me rephrase that. Can you say what some of the changes that will directly affect the community are?
Yeah, some exciting things that are happening within the DOJ are that the DOJ is now guaranteeing reductions in charges for individuals who choose to exercise their right to legal counsel. However, we also know what many are thinking is that there's never lawyers around. But we have hired several new lawyers recently and interns who will be working their way up into the public defense position soon, hopefully. So that's definitely going to help, and we're looking to hire more as time goes on, of course. But that being said, even as we grow, there may still be times when there's not lawyers available, and that's where the appeals court will come in. So once a week on Fridays, we'll hold appeals court at the courthouse. So this will be the time for anyone who was unable, basically, to receive um, representation and to plead their case before a judge. So a lawyer can be and is encouraged to be acquired for this beforehand because they can kind of work together with their lawyer ahead of time to put together their their kind of plea to the judge, essentially. Um, but we'll also have some present on the day for consultation as well. And anyone who believes they were wrongfully charged will have a chance to be represented and have their sentencing overturned at appeals court. And we're working on a system as well to return the fines paid by them, as well as maybe some other things to go along with that. We're also having small claims court, which will take place on Saturdays, is the plan currently. So starting next week, both of these will start. So this is a place where citizens can bring kind of civil disagreements up to $15,000 to be heard by a judge or a magistrate and have it settled in court.
Very nice changes. Um, And I heard you used the word intern to describe people that you're bringing on. Is that synonymous with paralegal, or are those separate?
So they're two separate positions. So we have our interns, which are our new kind of lawyers who are working their way up. That they're not quite on their own 2 feet, but we're training them and teaching them, and eventually going to send them off on their own. Paralegals are more kind of assistants to lawyers. They're more administrative, so they'll help lawyers with their paperwork. It depends on what each law firm or each lawyer hires one on or brings one on to help them with.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions that I have for you today, Alyx. Thank you for taking the time out to talk with us again.
Yeah, thanks for chatting, Baron. Appreciate it.
Yep. Looking forward to a new DOJ.
Me as well. I'm very excited for it.